Hi there, it's Tracy Farquhar getting ready to go live. I'm just going to wait a minute or so till people start to join the session, and then we'll get started. So today I'm doing a live channeling event where I channeled a collective known as Frank. Frank is a collective of 8 beings from another planet, and I've channeled 2 books with them. The first book was called Frank Talk, a book of channeled wisdom. The second book, Channeled Messages from Deep Space, Wisdom for a Changing World, was co-authored with Mike Dooley. I've been channeling them for several years now in various ways. Live channeling sessions with verbal channeling and written channeling. And what they have to say is always pretty uplifting, helping us to see a different perspective on what's going on in our life, in our world, which I think can be very expansive and help us through some challenging times. And that's why they've decided to share this wisdom with us to help us through the challenging times. So most of the time when I do these live sessions as a webinar, I'm doing them at the home of some friends so that they can kind of support me with the technology and help me in case anything goes wrong, since I'm kind of, not available when I'm channeling. So this is just me sitting here in my room in my house, self-quarantining here like everybody else. So we're just gonna have to play it by ear and see how it goes, and hopefully the internet gods will be in our favor and keep the connection nice and clear and keep us connected, because when I'm channeling I got my eyes closed. I don't know what's going on. So we're going to just intend that this is all going to work out just fine. So I have no idea what Frank wants to say. I know that they want to address what's going on in our world right now in some way. I have no preconceived notion about what that's going to be. I'm just going to leave it up to them and see how this all works out. So since it's just me, I'm not going to be able to take questions. Normally when I'm at my friend's house, Bob and Fran, Bob acts as the MC and he's able to ask the questions as they come up, but I don't have that, so I won't be able to take questions. But if at some point you want to post a question here as a comment, I will come back to it later and see if I can get a written channeled response from Frank to your questions, okay? But I won't be able to take them live because, again, I'll be kind of off to the side here with my eyes closed and I won't be able to see what you're typing there, okay? All right, so it usually takes me a minute or so to bring them forward. I kind of allow that energy shift to happen. So just bear with me for a minute, and we'll get started. Yes, yes. Good afternoon and good evening to everyone who's joining us today. We thank you for taking the time to tune in to our messages for this quite challenging time that you are experiencing in this moment. It has always been our intention to support all of you through the difficulties that arise on your planet at this time. When we first began bringing these messages to you in both the written and verbal form, it was apparent to us that the challenges that you face as a collective would shift and change and perhaps expand into different areas. And this again is something that we have some experience with. That we have found that the challenges, the opportunities that come through those challenges are in direct proportion to the seriousness of those challenges. And so it is within the most oppressive types of challenge as you are experiencing now that the greatest opportunity for growth and expansion is available to you, even though that may appear to be a paradox to you. It may not seem possible that such an extreme threat to your health, your life, your planet could offer opportunity for growth and expansion, and especially with the paradox of being forced into a sort of a quarantine situation where you are having to pull your energy back into your home, yourself, and your loved ones. It is difficult to imagine that that type of experience can offer you expansion. But the truth remains that as we pull energy back into ourselves, we can create the greatest opportunity for self-healing and growth. It is when we are distracted from the self, when we are led to believe that our sole purpose here is to expand our energy into taking care of the world and solving the problems and being pulled into the drama and situations of other people, that we are distracted from our own self-growth, you see. And while it is important, and especially now, that you practice acts of compassion and caring for your fellow human beings, it is even more important that you practice those acts of compassion and caring on yourself as well. Not in a selfish way, but in a way that nurtures and cultivates a higher vibrational energy within yourself, which can lead to physical, emotional, and spiritual healing. If you are constantly distracted from that, it is difficult to feel centered and to feel powerful in the midst of such powerful forces outside of yourself. And so what we would encourage you to do at this time, as you are kind of forced into this period of blank slate in front of you, that you write something on that blank slate, which is going to inspire your life, which is going to create forward momentum into new systems and new ways of being, in not just in your own sphere, but in a way that foresees that expansion into new realms in the collective as well. It must start with you, you see. And as you are changing your daily routine, you're also changing your energetic awareness. You're being offered the opportunity to find new ways of being in yourself, you see, new ways of your spirit living within the physical body. And this causes discomfort, and this causes a sense of losing touch with the ground. It can feel as though the ground is shifting under your feet. This is not a comfortable place to be, and yet it is also offering you an even more solid ground on the other side of that. A solid ground that you are creating out of necessity, but also out of a sense of creativity. You're being forced to think creatively here. The old paradigm is no longer valid. And the grand scheme, the universe, the unseen forces that respond to your energetic field are offering you this opportunity, because you as a collective were not willing to take that opportunity when times were not so bad. Often it is the case that we physical beings, must be forced into change. And as serious as the situation seems to be, in the way that you are perceiving it with your eyes and your ears, it is also important that you perceive the situation with your heart and your senses, and consider what this may be inspiring you to do that is different. We cannot continue to live in the same way and expect things to change. And so this is inspiring you to think of a different way to be, not just temporarily, as this situation is quite temporary, but in a way that is going to change the paradigm going forward, both for yourself as an individual and the collective whole, as you are an infinite being within a collective. And so as an infinite being within the collective, what you change within yourself is influencing the energy of the collective. It is impossible for that not to occur. And so it is time to take a moment in your day, or several moments, or several hours even, to consider what it is that you would like your life to be on the other side of this crisis. How would you like your life to shift and change? What would be the best possible outcome of this crisis for you as an individual? Begin with you as an individual. How would you like to live out the remainder of this life experience, this incarnated state that you chose to be in at this particular space and time? With this awareness of the fragility of life, but also at the same time the awareness of the infinite strength of the spirit and the physical being, can come a raised awareness of your own power to create something different. And as you proceed to create something different from within this confined state, you're being offered an opportunity to expand beyond that confined physical space into the far reaches of your intuition, your energetic awareness, your spirit. For if you are confined physically, you will look for ways to experience freedom. And the best way to experience that freedom is through the spirit, see? The energetic awareness. This is allowing you to connect with that part of yourself in a much more profound way than you would normally have in your day-to-day life. And the day-to-day life that is based solely on your five senses and your physical awareness. And so with this thing, this entity, this disease, which is threatening that physical part of yourself, you can also be inspired to connect more deeply with the spirit, the higher sense of yourself, the energetic you that exists beyond the physical. That is where the true wisdom lies. That is where the truth can be found. Within the sense, the energetic sense, intuitive sense of what is real. The physical senses can lie. They can be skewed by what you have believed throughout your life, what you have been taught, and what your brain is capable of understanding. The energetic senses go beyond that understanding and consider possibilities that are beyond what your brain is going to tell you is possible. And so within this physical confinement, Use the time to connect with yourself on a higher level, with your higher wisdom, so that you can start to create a different type of life for yourself that is more expansive and more connected with the true essence of who you are. It is not so limited by who you think you should be or who you think you are. Your thoughts are important, and yet they are very easily skewed. Your awareness is unlimited. And this is where new things arise. They arise from outside of the normal thinking patterns that we have developed over years and years of beliefs. It is now time to rise above that belief that you are a limited being of flesh only. This flesh of your being is simply an expression and a means to conduct yourself in a physical world. You have come here to have the experience of that, to see how you can still connect with your spirit being and express it in a very limited physical world. And so this is your challenge just now. Just now, in this crisis period, this is your extreme challenge. See what you can make of it. See what you can make of it. Not what it is making of you. See if you can discern through your higher senses what is being offered to you in this time. And it is not going to be discerned through your thinking mind, which is tending toward fear, which is understandable, which is tending toward dread, which is tending toward anger, and all the emotional expressions of the physical self, which again, also part of the sacred experience. And yet, it is also giving you the opportunity to expand beyond those physical reactions into your higher sense of knowing. We, as a collective, have experienced some similarities in our world, found that we were able to start to delve into matters of consciousness and spirit when we were forced to do so. And it was in that exploration that we were able to come up with new paradigms, new systems, beyond what we would have thought was possible, but what we knew and felt with our being, our spirit, our energetic self. And often it is true that we must be forced into that place where nothing is left to figure out intellectually. It is left for us to sense. And then to bring that up into the intellect so that we can make sense of those things. See? So the awareness that begins through the higher senses can then be intellectualized. It will often just feel like an idea. It may feel like a hit of information that comes to you from somewhere else. It may even just feel like a thought, but it is beyond your normal scope of thinking. This is how you know you were tapping into a higher consciousness, see? And you have never been offered a more important event in your lifetime as a human being than this, to activate that part of yourself. It is what we have hoped to prepare you for in all of our teachings and our speaking and our writing. This event will pass, but the things that this event, the new ways of thinking that this event will inspire, the opportunities of this event will reach far beyond it. If you choose to participate in that, start with your own life, your own sphere, and expand out from there. And have faith. Have faith that this is something that is offering you opportunity. Have faith that it is not all tragedy, and that even in the tragedy, there is growth. Those who have lost their lives have agreed in spirit to do so. This does not negate their loss. They will be mourned and missed in the physical, but they absolutely have not ceased to exist. Remember that. Allow that to help you ease some of your fears. Remember the sheer resilience of the human body and the unlimited influence of the human spirit. We would not be here speaking to you if we did not have the supreme faith in both of those aspects of you, and if we did not honor and admire them as much as we do, and if we did not have this extreme sense of love for you. You will get through this. It will pass. And we have no doubt that it will inspire a greater sense of moving forward with compassion, with passion, with the force of will to create a better world. And we will remain with you throughout. You yourselves can call upon us. We are not limited in communicating this way. You can also call upon the forces of your own guides, your angelic energy that is always at your disposal, and Source itself, for support and wisdom, comfort and protection. We wish you all of that. And we see the potential for amazing things in your future. Stay strong, stay resilient, stay true to the spirit of who you really are. And don't forget that you are never alone. Understand that the sense of community that is developing through this is there to remind you of that. You have each other, and you have beings in other realms, such as we, to support you here. We love you. Remember us, remember yourselves, and take care. Okay. Boy, I feel all choked up. I don't even know why. I think I just felt the love there. It felt really good. All right. Thank you for joining. That felt really powerful. They sure were energetic and animated there. I could feel that too. Thank you. And so the recording of this will stay up on the page. If you missed any of it, you'll be able to watch it later. Again, if you have questions, you can post them here and I will try to get to them at some point later. Okay. Thank you. Take care. Be safe and well. Bye.